What is special about a Calabria Esrog?
It's known, the Minhag Chabad, it's brought down in Sefer HaMinhagim. The Minhag Chabad is that we try to get an Esrog from Calabria. The Calabria Esrog is also called the Yanove Esrog. The reason that it's called the Yanove Esrog is because the port that they used to send these Esrogim from a region in South Italy was called Genova. Genova and Yanova are a very similar word. Just like Israeli oranges were called for many, many years the Jaffa oranges, because the port that they used to send the oranges from, the ones that grew in Israel, was Jaffa, Yaffo. Same way is the Esrogim from Calabria, from the region in South Italy, were sent from a port called Genova or Yanova. That's why they're named the Yanove Esrogim. What's the reason that we try to get Esrogim dafka from this region, from this place in South Italy? It starts like this. The pasuk says, "Ulekachtem lochem b'yoyim harishoin pri eitz hodor kapis tmorim anaf eitz oves v'arvei nochal." The pasuk says that you should be taking a pri eitz hodor. Chachamim learned what's pri eitz hodor, a beautiful fruit, dor beilonei mishona leshona, that remains on the tree for a whole year, and that is what we call today the citrus, the esrog. However, these esrogim trees are very, very, very delicate, and the best way to keep up an esrog is to combine the tree of the esrog tree, together with a different citrus like a lemon. The problem is that these murkov esrogim have a very, very big halachic issue. The halachic issue is, could we consider a esrog that's murkov, that's combined with a different tree, could we consider it as a kosher esrog? Alter Rebbe brings down that the esrog hamurkov, meaning that it was combined with a different tree, is mamish pasul. Why is it pasul? It's brought down Alter Rebbe. The reason is, it is not an esrog. It's an andere sort, it's something else altogether. It is not considered an esrog. There are some other reasons besides Alter Rebbe's reason. One reason is that it's considered chaser. Esrog has to be complete, and the minute that you have a other thing in the esrog, that part that's not original esrog, it's as if it's missing a part of the esrog. A different shitta is that it's called bal toisif. We know you can only have four kinds. You can only have an esrog, lulav, hadassim, and aravis, and the minute you have that extra part into it, it's considered bal toisif. However, as we said, most poskim say that the murkov esrog is not kosher. In Calabria, in South Italy, we have a maseres, we have a tradition that these esrogim are natural, and these esrogim were never dealt with and they were never combined. And as we said, these are the esrogim that we take. How could you actually recognize an esrog? How do you know that an esrog is not murkov? So there are a few simonim, there's a few signs that you could see that the esrog is not murkov. For an example, if you open the esrog, you slice the esrog, you could tell that the esrog, the shape and the position of the seeds in the esrog, if it's a real esrog and not combined, they're going to be in one way. However, if it's combined with a lemon, it's going to be in a different angle, it's going to be in a different shape. Also, the type of skin, the type of peel that you have on the esrog, if it's an original esrog, it will be very, very bumpy. Yet, if there's a lemon combined, it will be very, very smooth. There are some other simonim, some other signs, but the most amazing thing is what's brought down from the Chsam Sefer. There's a tshuva of the Chsam Sefer, Siman Reish Zayin, in Eirachaim, that the Chsam Sefer says that an esrog, even though an esrog has simonim, it is very, very similar to chicken and to different behemoths and chayas that we eat. That even though they have the simonim, they could be mafris parso, sheiseh shesa, and mailegero. Nevertheless, we do not eat any type of animal if it doesn't have tradition, if it doesn't have maseres. Says the Chsam Sefer that even if you have an esrog, and this esrog has all the simonim, that it has the bumps on the peel, and that it has a oiketz at shakua, and we know that the shape and the position of the seeds is the right one. Nevertheless, says the Chsam Sefer, that an esrog has to have a tradition. And the example that the Chsam Sefer brings, like the esrogim that come from Yanove, like the esrogim that come from Calabria. So here we see that there is a tradition besides the regular simonim. Besides all that, it's brought down in Sefer HaMinhagim that we have a Maseiris. We have a Kabbalah from the Alter Rebbe. That when the Moshe Rabbeinu was told by the Eibishter, how did they get an esrog in the midbar and the desert? So there's a medrash that Moshe Rabbeinu sent shluchim on clouds to Calabria, to this region, to this specific place, to go and get the esrogim. So being that we have a tradition that these original esrogim came from Calabria, from the place that Esav, we know that Italy as Edom and Esav got the promise, Mishmane ha'aretz yeh meishavecho, from the good juicy soil of Yavon, of Italia shel Yavon, of Italy. That's where the original esrogim came from. That's why we try to keep to this Maseiras of bringing esrogim from Calabria. In the 1950s, they took plants of seeds from Calabria and they planted them in Kfar Chabad in Israel, in Kfar Chabad in Israel, and there now they have esrogim that grow in Eretz Yisrael based on different trees that came from Calabria. It's called Zankarabah, from the kind of Calabria. It's interesting that even though the Rebbe supported very, very strongly the esrogim coming from Kfar Chabad, still the Rebbe said there's one thing that's missing from the Kfar Chabad esrogim, and that is the tradition of bringing the esrog from Calabria. So even though many esrogim from Kfar Chabad were sent to the Rebbe, it's known that the Rebbe would make the bracha of the Tilas Lulav on the esrog that Dafka came from Calabria to keep to the tradition of Maseiris we have from the Rabbeim that the Alter Rebbe brought from the Medrash, that you should bring the esrogim Dafka from Calabria, Dafka from Italy.